Hey everybody, welcome back. It's the Manic Merk here. Hope everyone out there is doing great. Back with another deck breakdown. This is the Race to 10 series. What I'm working on here with the Race to 10 series is to take a deck, give you an analysis of it here at the beginning, and then play it 10 times. See what goes right, what goes wrong, try to learn a little bit about the deck together, and see whether our expectations at the beginning match our results at the end. So what we have here is Lartam the Spy of Venom, an 81 SAS with a 54.5 AERC, 13 in the Ember Control, 60.5 in the Ember Department. A little slow on getting through its deck with some decent creature power running here. So with those basic formalities, we've got 20 creatures, 14 actions, and 2 artifacts in play compared to the average, and we'll get into the cards now and start to talk about it. So we have Brobnar, Sanctum, and Shadows, and the Brobnar's not a whole lot to write home about. We have 1, 2, 3 Ember, usually going to be 4 with the War Song. You'll get at least 1 fight, usually, so maybe 4 Ember there. Anger's always nice to see in Brobnar, ready and fight with a friendly creature, gets something going early. I'm never sad to have a board clear in my deck, and destroy each undamaged creature with a Coward's End is great because maybe I can kill some small things with my creatures in Brobnar, and then drop the hammer with Coward's End to pull the trigger on their bigger creatures and keep my board intact. Sound the Horn's nice if you don't have a Brobnar creature in hand, or you just need a little bit more. You can pile through your deck, discard cards from the top of your deck until you either discard a Brobnar creature or run out of cards. If you discard a Brobnar creature, you get that card in hand, so that's great. Tremor's working nicely here, a little utility here, stun a creature and each of its neighbors. So you've got big things on the board that you can't get rid of right now, but you can stun them, slow down your opponent's board. Great. Unguarded Camp's a good Ember Control method if you can fill your board up, because you are a little bit above average on that creature board with 20 creatures in deck. So for each creature you have in excess of your opponent, you're going to capture one. Each creature cannot capture more than one this way, so not bad. War Songs, where you, for the remainder of the turn, gain 1 Ember for each time a friendly creature fights. The only artifact in the House of Brobnar here is the Banner of Battle, which is a nice artifact to see, okay? Each friendly creature gets +1 power. It really throws off the math for the opponents I've seen when they're playing certain effects. And it's just nice. It makes your squishy things a little less squishy and maybe surviving some of those early game effects that would take something out. Fire Spitter has that benefit of before fight, deal 1 damage to each enemy creature. Not bad. I don't mind seeing that in any deck. It's functional. Can help me deal with some of those smaller creatures. Then what I do like seeing here is we've got Triple Crump. So after an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Crump, its controller loses 1 Ember. At 6 power, you can usually get rid of a couple little squishies for the smaller logos or the smaller untamed, Dis and Shadows creatures. Get a little value out of that in Ember Control. Then you've got a Smash here, which is play stun a creature. I always love this card. Unfortunately, we don't have that War Drummer. It's going to call some of this back to either heal up our War Party or get a couple of multiple effects out of like the Smash, or if we had some Ganger Chieftains. So pretty mediocre to average. Not great. Would have liked to see a Loot the Bodies. I always like seeing a Loot the Bodies with a Coward's End, but that's okay. Then we're going to jump over here into our Sanctum. We've got Blinding Light. Choose a house, stun each creature of that house. It's nice. We're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 Ember bonuses over here, so that's 7, 8-ish so far. Nice to be able to selectively stun a group. One Stood Against Many is a pretty cool card. Ready and fight with a friendly creature 3 times, each time against a different enemy creature, and resolve these fights 1 at a time. So I don't know if this is right or wrong in the Crucible, but after creature readies and fights, if there's nothing else on the board, it will not ready again. I thought it might work that way, and I play tested it out as a demo in a game the other day, and it will not. So I don't know whether that's accurate or inaccurate. I can fight with a friendly creature 3 times, because I believe that it should ready and then have nothing to fight and be able to be used, but I could be wrong on that. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below if I'm on point or off point with that. Terms of Redress, always a good card, getting an Ember, and you get to capture 2 Ember from your opponent. So it's just something to slow them down, take them off a key. Potion of Invulnerability is a really nice little synergy between One Stood Against Many and the Potion, getting an Ember, and when you pop the Potion, For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. So I'll show you where we can use this with a couple of targets in this deck really nicely. One you've already seen up here in Crump. Kill a couple things, drop them some Ember, always nice. Let's see, getting into the next part of the deck, so we have the 3 Champion Anaphiels, getting that taunt heavy going on. Never anything bad about that. I'm always happy to see taunt in a deck. Then you've got Frankus, which after an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Frankus, Frankus captures 1 Ember. So if you don't have a Crump on the board that you can pop the 1 Potion of Invulnerability and the 1 stood against mini with, you can use Frankus. I would say destroyed is better than capture in the grand scheme of things, but this is a valid target too. Then we're going to come down here to the Grey Monk. Each friendly creature gets +1 armor, heal 2 damage from a creature. So we've got our capture, we get a little boost and some healing, and then we've got 2 Sequis. Anybody know how that's said? Give me a link to some audio clips on that or something. Give me something fun like that. But yeah, you can reap with this to capture 1. So we've got a little more capture. So we've got a pretty decent capture heavy Sanctum to help us with Ember control, which is great. And then, and this is why I call this deck Lartam the Spy of Nope, because it has a lot of Thou Shalt Not for it. So we've already seen a bit of good Ember control. But now we're getting into the Shadows House, which is where I think this deck has a little bit better opportunity to shine. We've got our bait and switch, the classic staple of Shadows here. Always happy to see that. Then we have not 1, not 2, but 3. That's right, 3 Miasmas. So 1, 2, 3 Ember from the Miasmas, and that's going to slow them down tremendously. Maybe you can roll them into a big bait and switch, or, and this is another beauty in this deck, too much to protect. So you play steal all but 6 of your opponent's Ember. You get an Ember for it for nothing. And then if you can get a couple Miasmas off in a row and they're up sitting a little higher, you can get a good bit of Ember out of that just to take into your pockets with a couple of cards here. So again, we've already seen a ton of capture. Now we're seeing a bunch of steal or slowdown effects to allow for bigger steals between the bait and the too much to protect if you play your cards right. We've got a bad penny in here with no Seeker Needle. My buddy Denkuro would encourage you to just discard this. And most of the time that's probably going to be better than getting it bounced back to your hand as chain every turn. If your opponent's being savvy, they're gonna kill Penny just to put her back into your hand a lot of the time. So do with that what you will. There might be situations or times where it's really appropriate to know you're going to go back to Shadows really quickly. And you think maybe you'll get a reap out of her before you want to discard her. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. There are some options in there, but Carlo Phantom, elusive, not exclusive, with a skirmish, and each time you play an artifact, steal 1 Ember. Well, Carlo's nice in the right deck. I've got a deck with 7 or 8 artifacts that I wish he were in, but he's not. In this deck, there are 2 artifacts. That's not looking great for him. He's really a little bit more of a dead creature here. So we've got 2 kind of dead creatures, but a lot of really good stuff up here. So now we're starting to get into the things I do like to see. We've got this Macus the Asp, your skirmisher with poison, and 3, possibly 4. The only nice thing about these 2 is they become 2-power creatures with that Banner of Battle out. So getting up to 4 power with a poison creature is awesome, especially a skirmisher. Mag to the Rat, elusive. Steal 2 on play, leave play, your opponent steals 2. So this is great, especially if when you're getting rid of her, you can be at 0 Ember, maybe time that out with something. Also, always going to love seeing a Nexus in deck. Another elusive creature, reap, use an opponent's artifacts as if it were yours. So all over the internet, lands, lands, lands. Nobody likes the lands. Well, having something like a Nexus in your deck gives you control of that because you can use and sacrifice that lands and throw off that library access combo really easily. And it being elusive does make it a lot harder to get through. And with the Banner of Battle, it's going to put it at 4 damage. So not a lot of things deal 4 damage all at once. There are a couple. So there's options for people to get around the elusive if they have to, but again, a great card. Naughty the Thief here. You've got an action-based steal on an elusive creature, and this is my favorite target actually for that. Back up here to the 1 stood against many Potion of Invulnerability, because we already said that lose is better than capture, but what's better than capture or lose is if you can come over here and fight to steal. So if you can get 3 fights in with a Dodger under the 1 stood against many, the Potion of Invulnerability, you're going to want to steal that 3 Ember as long as they have it. Just get it with that Dodger. And so this deck's goal, from what I can see, is it wants to be kind of big and hefty out here and controlling the board between its big powered up and self-healing sanctum creatures. It's wanting to come out here and throw some pain down. It's only got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 Brobnar creatures, so it's not controlling the board as heavily, but it does have some utility with the Coward's End, your Anger, your Tremor. Maybe you need to blow through part of your deck to get back around to your bait and switch or some of your stoppers again. Maybe you got them all early and you just need to run them down. Drop the Sound the Horn. Maybe you get lucky, you mill off 6, 7 cards, get closer to complete. Some good Amber control. So overall, I think this deck stands a really good chance of at least giving most decks a run for their money. We'll see how well that plans out, but it really just wants to kind of slow you down, get into a grind spot, steal from you, and reap out a victory with one of its meteor houses if it can control the board. So you got some board domination and some theft. That's what I think about Lartam, the Spy of Venom. I'm going to say out the gate, I think it could go 6 to 7 out of 10 if we're playing casual on the Crucible, because that's what we're going to be playing, or I might play against some friends if they volunteer to play similarly styled decks, maybe not completely top tier. I like taking them through a round of getting to know them and then moving them into more competitive play. So we're going to see if Lartam the Spy of Venom can stand up to the test and whether it deserves to make it into more competitive trials. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time.